Bonjour and welcome to Macon, France, spelled M-A-C-O-N. Walking tour of town this morning. Our walking tour guide, and down here is the Amacello. It's market day. Today is Saturday. Tomorrow, of course, Sunday. Everything's going to be closed. At one time, this was the main German headquarters. So that is the only remaining bridge. Now today they have close to 25% are Muslim in France, but they are not allowed to, in France, to ask religion or anything ethnic. So they don't know for sure. I think one of these old carousels, I think it's from 1900. There is Lamartine, hero of the town. He was president for 1 week. Famous poet. Charles de Gaulle once said, "You cannot govern a country with 370 kinds of cheese." So it's a monastery. The French are excellent in rebuilding craftsmanship. It's from the 18th century. Money in there for donations, and they would put food for the poor right here. This was also an orphanage, so if you wanted to abandon a child, you put your baby right in there. This is one of the few original places remaining, and the church would take care of the child. The inside is Gothic. The outside is, I forgot what he told me already. It's 200 years old, Neo-Gothic.
Latin call that
St. Peter
Legis,
holding the key. The fresco was made in 1941. There's a baptism taking place right now. Our next stop is going to be a medieval brothel. What is a town without a Starbucks, huh? So this is the best brioche. Colonel. Number 79 is where Jean-Baptiste Drouet died in 1824, who took part in the arrest of King Louis XVI. He recognized the king who was trying to escape. The wooden house is the oldest and most preserved. It's the most preserved brothel in the world.
when you fall, it's also a warning. Not so much saying, hey, we did very well. The warning showing well.
This square was all for sailors and had many brothels. That is a monk showing his rear end, and it's from the 15th century. Hey, a Sephora. If you want some makeup. I like this little orange house.
I think so.
That's the older part right there. That tower. Romanesque. And this one is more ornate. That's Gothic.
So an evolution of style, and they just city which is right in the middle. Big building.
This was the main building for the German officers. St. Vincent Cathedral is built on the site of one of the oldest churches in Macon. That was destroyed at the end of the 18th century. It was built because of grants awarded by Napoleon, and he named the church after himself, Napoleon Church. The square honors Bertie Elbrock, a heroine of the and co-founder of the combat resistance movement. She was pursued, denounced, and arrested in the square in May 1943 by the Gestapo. She was incarcerated in France and ended her own life in 1943. This honors the deceased of both wars, World War I, World War II, the one in Algeria, lots of war. These are all plaques for thanks, like votives. That is a very famous painting by, I think he said David. I asked the guide whether or not there was a Jewish area here at Macon, and he said, well, way back in medieval times, when Louis IX, or Saint Louis, decided to persecute the Jews, and basically, all right, bring the Jews out and let's kill them all. It's a story that's gone on forever and ever, and that's the story of Jews in Macon.
And out, and the front of my house.
This was once a private house. Pretty nice. This was built in the early 18th century. If you follow the little triangles, they tell you where the interesting things are. France is one of the most taxed countries in the world at 40%. You don't end up with very much. But of course, they have free education, they have free health care. The market is segregated by, this is the fruit side, and the other side were household goods. This is basically the tourist route. You just get a little map and you follow all those little pointy things to the important spots.